Okay, this is video number 2 for the pros and cons of the wood stove. Now that we know that the size of the wood stove is determined by the space that you put it in and its location, there are some other things that I would like to point out, pros and cons. One of them is the fuel. Now in Pennsylvania, I don't know how it is where everybody else lives, but in Pennsylvania we have a rule that says that any tree that has fallen is free game for anyone to harvest. You can go into any forest, you can go alongside any road, and any tree that is fallen, it is yours to harvest. You can go there with a nice one of those wheelie carts and your chainsaw, and you can cut it down, cut it into pieces, throw it on the back of your truck, bring it home, and you have a free source of wood. Alright, that's one of the nice things. We have a neighbor, which I don't know if I'll be able to show you, but he's got a wood burner, and he harvests trees out the back, and he stacks it and uses it for his home. I don't know with the sun that's shining off the snow if you can see that, but that's his wood pile way over there, and he's got many cords. And so with a wood stove you could have free heat. However, free heat doesn't necessarily mean that it's easy heat, because you've got the labor involved, and the whole purpose of us getting an additional source was not only for the purpose of money saving, because oil is expensive, but I was also thinking of when we got older and we became on a limited income and we only had so much money to spend. Maybe I would need that for food, and I wouldn't want to put it into fuel to warm the house. But really, when you're 70 and 80 years old, are you really going to be able to go harvest the trees, cut it down, lug the wood, split the wood, lug it into the house? A lot of work there. And when you're young, a lot of work is good for you. When you get older, it's not that work isn't good for you, but you really become limited in the kind of work you can do. So pellets are fairly cheap. We are currently on our second ton. We started the pellet stove up in the end of October. It is now the beginning of January. It costs about $230 for a ton of pellets. So we are now on our second ton, and so we have spent $560 so far, but as you can see, that's our ton of pellets. We've only used a bag or two. A ton is 4 by 4 by 4, and so we just got that ton. We will probably go the rest of the year just about on that. Now with oil, we would have gone through a lot more than what we already did. So pellets are economical. Little FYI for you, there are a lot of places you can buy pellets. Places like Home Depot and Lowe's, places like Kmart or Walmart, and they take the pellets, they're all wrapped in plastic, and they store them outside, and then you go to buy them, and it's fairly cheap. But the guy that we buy our pellets from said never ever buy pellets that are stored outside. You need pellets that are stored inside. Pellets are compressed wood, and I've showed you this before. It's compressed wood, and it is sawdust only that under steam and pressure they condense it down and you get these little pellets. That's all it is. There's no chemicals in it, there's no glues in it, it's just condensed pellets. And you throw it into the hopper, and then the hopper feeds it down into that little tiny little firebox. And the fire now is too high, I can't show you, but anyway, it feeds it into that firebox and burns. Problem is, when it's stored outside, it is subjected to the weather and therefore moisture. And what happens is these pellets absorb the moisture and they swell. When they swell, they're not as compact and compressed. When they're not as compact and compressed, they lose the ability to produce the BTUs that they would if they were compressed, and therefore you lose some of your heat power in them. The other thing it does when they swell is that it makes a lot of mess, and so you have even more mess to clean up. Now, this is the end of this video. I'll go on to the next.